I'm Elderbrook, here chatting with Milky. So I guess earlier on in my career, I was definitely more indie electronic. There was a lot more, it was slower, there was a lot more instrumentation. I think with this new album, I've definitely gone more electronic, kind of more club friendly, you might say. I think I had a lot of time when I was making this album. So I was making the album during, kind of half during the pandemic. And so that kind of gave me a lot of time to kind of just mess around with different sounds, different buttons. And yeah, so I spent a lot of time doing that. And then I took those sounds and had them as a basis to kind of write the songs over, which was really helpful. So lyrically, well, let me start it. During the writing process for this album, I had recently become a father. So I think a lot of the lyrics reflect what I was feeling about that at the time. And I think the album as a whole kind of started as a message to my daughter, but it ended up being more of a kind of almost, I wanted to leave my children with some kind of lessons. So a lot of it is just the lessons that I'd kind of want to teach my children and leave my children. I am just so happy that I finally, because I did take a lot longer with this album than I had done with the first album. So to have it finished just feels really nice. Each song definitely is a different process. So I think usually if I was working by myself, I would kind of get a beat down, get that sounding nice, and then just mumble words until a phrase emerges that I can latch onto and kind of make the song about. But I've got a couple of, well, I worked with some other people on a couple of records. So I worked with Vintage Culture on one song, with Amtrak on another. And so with them, the Vintage Culture song, he sent over an instrumental because it was the pandemic and no one could see anyone. So then we sent stuff back and forth a bit. And then the Amtrak one, we were in the same room together in Los Angeles just after the pandemic. So, you know, they all take on their different journeys. So Amtrak, we've kind of been playing a lot of the same festivals for the last however many years. And so we just kept on thinking that we had to do something just because we're quite good friends and we like each other's music. And then with Vintage Culture, he just messaged me out of absolutely nowhere with my last album, wanting to remix one of the records, Why Do We Shake in the Cold? So he did. And then we've just been chatting ever since then, trying to make music together until we've got this song. So I think, like I was saying before, when I first started making music, it was a lot slower, instrument based. Since I've been playing live, I love playing the more energetic stuff. So I think it's definitely become a little bit more clubby over time. Just like us, I'll be around and talk it over. So I guess the album is called Little Love, and I get that lyric into about 3.5 songs. You'll understand what I mean if you listen to the album. So this time round, I went to Sydney Zoo and I saw a koala, which I'd never seen a koala before. I slept overnight at the zoo. In an accommodation. I didn't just like hide out and try and sleep there. But other than that, playing in Sydney and Melbourne was amazing. The rooms that I was playing in were so much bigger than the first time I've come back here. So it's just amazing to come all this way and see so much love. So yeah, thank you. Sam Cooke. Fred Again. Young Youth and Manhood by Kings of Leon. Moana. Just looking at people's faces. Hannah Montana. My first song I released called Rewinding. The Wombats. Kings of Leon. Spice Girl. Electronic Spice. The O2 in London. Akon, Locked Up. I actually sound exactly like Akon when I sing in that register, but I'll do it later. Splendor in the Grass, 2018. And honestly, I'm not just saying that. It was my first ever one that was actually sick. Beyonce. Keep on writing a song every day. On the school bus when I was in grade 7,